Hi James, how you doing today?
I'm all right. I'm just feeling a little off.
Feeling a little off today?
Yeah, I'm feeling jittery, and I don't know. I just feel like I need to explode or something. It's just in there somewhere.
All right, so you almost seem like a little fidgety.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like my body just can't keep still, and I'm trying to make it, but it just won't allow me to stop.
All right, so I remember we talked a little bit about this last time. You had kind of the same feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I had an idea for today to try out a technique that that I think might help you
Okay.
to explore, to get at some insight at this jitteriness.
Okay.
It does require a bit of imagination, and you can see I have a second chair here.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to have you, James,
Mhm.
have a conversation with this part of you that's making you feel fidgety and like you want to explode and jittery.
Okay.
But first I want to be able to name that part. What do I want to call that part of you?
I think it's anger. I think it's anger.
I think it's anger.
I think it's anger.
All right, so this is the angry part of you.
Yes.
And that's causing, it's kind of erupting through.
Yeah.
Causing this feeling of incongruence.
It's making me feel like I'm not being my true self, or just fully me.
You're being inauthentic.
Yes, you're right. I'm being inauthentic with myself.
All right, so let's separate out this angry part of you.
Okay.
All right, so here where you're sitting, I want you to be James.
Okay.
But in that chair, I want you to imagine, to the best of your ability, that the angry part of you is seated there.
Okay.
All right, so it's really only going to see things from that perspective. It is the angry part.
Okay.
It's not the whole, it's just a part.
Okay.
All right, and I'm going to have you move back and forth as needed so you can have a conversation between the whole, James,
Mm-hmm.
and the angry part of you.
Okay.
So let's start with your side. So the angry part of you is now seated here.
Okay.
So I want you to turn toward the angry part and say what's on your mind.
The way that you're making me feel is it's really jittery, and like I can't do my job, and like I really can't interact with people the way that I want to, because it's just going to explode out on them, and I can't do that. Like as a black man, that's just unacceptable. I can't just go off the handle and start yelling and fussing and doing all of those things that people deem as unacceptable in society, and that's what you're making me feel like I need to do.
All right, so that's a powerful message you've communicated to the angry part of you. So I want you to think, how's the angry part of you going to respond to that? And then switch seats and respond back to James. Make sense?
It makes
Okay.
sense. So James, let's just be honest. You need me in your life. I am that part of you that you never let out, and I can actually be a force of good for you. Because right now, people are walking over you, and you're not seeing that. And it's partly because you're just not letting me out, and you're afraid of what everybody else is going to say if you get upset, which is crazy. You can actually use me to your benefit.
So the angry part of you also has a powerful message, a very rational message. If you can, try to deliver that same message, except think about how the angry part of you is really going to be seated in that chair, and how the angry part of you is really going to move, and the volume of your voice. What's the angry part going to do as it communicates that rational message?
So, James, I need you to pay attention, and I need you to listen. Because I can be a force of good for you. You need to let me out so that people will stop walking all over you. yes, it's scary that people don't understand that when you are angry, you're not necessarily going to harm them. They need to realize that they are doing something wrong, and you're not letting people know that. It needs to change now.
Right, so the angry part of you, a little more authoritative there. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Kind of pointing and being very direct.
Yes.
So now James has his opportunity to respond. So come back over here. And think about that lecture that the angry part of you just gave to you. How are you going to respond to that?
I don't think that people are walking over me. I think that people are just being who they are, and I don't see it as a problem. So I understand that I need to, or you want me to, use you for a force of good, but I fear what I would do if I let you out 100%. And I don't want people to be disappointed in me, or fear me, or not want to be around me, because I am angry.
All right, so now James, again, a powerful and a rational response to the angry part. Does the angry part have a comeback for this?
I think he does.
Try it?
We can try it.
Okay, let's try it. Okay. So remember his temperament's a little different, right? His temperament's going to be a little angrier.
So, James, you don't have to let me out 100%. You can let me out 30%, 25%, even 75%, so that you can get your point across. So, yeah, it's scary, but it has to happen.
It has to happen. All right. So the angry part is kind of putting an ultimatum out there, saying this is really something that needs to happen, has to happen.
Yes.
All right, so come back as James, and let's talk about this. Do you want to respond to the angry part at this level?
I don't know. It's a lot to think about right
Okay.
now.
So come back toward me and let's talk about it.
Okay.
So what did you get from that interchange?
I think I got the understanding that it's okay to be angry, and it's okay to be frustrated, and it's okay to release that out. But I just don't necessarily have the skills or the tools to actually do that in an effective way so that I don't scare people.
All right. So as you're saying that, as you're kind of revealing what you've discovered, what do you feel like now in terms of your body?
So I feel like a cloud or something is over my heart, because I think that if I ever got angry, it's making me vulnerable. So it's trying to shield everything that's around me and not let those other feelings out.
It's trying to prevent the feelings from getting out.
Correct.
So what do you think what's the insight here that helps you? What can you do with this?
I think one of the things that I can do is figure out what makes me angry in particular.
Okay.
And when I do get frustrated or disappointed or pissed off with one of my either coworkers or friends or something like that, what are they doing? And then also, what is my reaction? So I actually have to think about, do I not like what they're doing because they're just stupid? Or do I not like what they're doing because it's hurting my feelings?
So part of this is differentiating causes of anger.
Yes.
And categorize them and say, this reason for getting angry makes some sense to me, and this one doesn't make sense.
Yeah, 100% correct. I think once I can figure that out, then I can figure out a way to better release the anger, or actually be able to say something back in a way that doesn't come off as aggressive, like anger over there.
So the angry part, too angry.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe there's a way to integrate the angry part back into the whole that is James.
That sounds, I think that if I do figure out a way to integrate, I think that the angry side of me won't be as angry. But then also I wouldn't necessarily always fear the confrontation that comes along with why I get angry.
So to reduce that fear as well.
Yes, yes it would.
So do you think that you can apply this between now and when I see you again in a week? Do you have any ideas about that?
Yeah, there are plenty of things that I can try. I can try to piss off one of my friends, or I know they're bound to do something stupid, so I can definitely try with somebody who I trust, and see how they respond, and something that it's easy for me to do.
All right, yeah, so part of this is, as I mentioned, trying to figure out what they're doing and whether it should be causing anger or not,
Yeah.
whether it's reasonable or not, and through the filter that you're looking through.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's something you think you can experiment with this week?
Can easily experiment with that this week.
Very good. So are you okay from this experience? You feeling all right from it?
I actually do. I feel I feel a little bit more calm now. I'm not as jittery as I was when I first got here, and I'm feeling okay.
Great. All right, James. So this week, take what you've seen here today, what you've gathered here today, as we talked about, try applying it, and let's talk about what progress we see next week from those interactions.
All right, perfect.
All right. I'll see you in a week.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.